Welcome back to the Sportside Podcast after a very interesting break. Tumerudi tena kuchambua tena dimba soka. Not forgetting guest wetu pale Mr. Jeff mwenyewe, Jeff Mulambala.
Jeff Mulambala mwenyewe.
Kwa hiyo una pronounce aje?
Mulambala.
Mulambala.
Hiyo Mulambala ni jina.
Ala.
Mimi nadhani ni jina ya kujisifu.
Hiyo ni jina. Jeff Mulambala sana ni watu wangu wanayepekea.
Ingia pale Facebook, all social media platforms ukitafuta Jeff Mulambala utajua mzito na hiyo deal na nini. Jeff, who deal na nini in terms of business wise, tunataka tu tunaongelea tu one sided. In life what doing?
Okay. I have a staffing business ya CNAs and nurses. I also have a company for the events called Kenya Diaspora Cultural and Investment.
Right. Interesting.
I've done it for the last couple of years. And quite a number of companies have showed up for these particular events. I get quite a number of sponsors. Like last year we did Alex Chamwada Transmedia.
Yeah. Big up Alex Chamwada.
We were able to do 22 sponsors. I mean Central Bank,
Nice.
KCB, and quite a number of companies that deal with property.
Yeah, you mentioned something about an event coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would be fair enough for you to just talk about it on this platform.
Okay.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah.
That's fine. On July 26th, is going to have an event that will be a cultural event. It's a Luya cultural event which is affiliated with Friends of Luyas.
Yeah.
We are going to have it Lake Samamish Park.
Next time, start.
Yes, and the target that we're going to have is about 800 people.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so it is something that you cannot afford to miss, because we are getting people from different states that they're like, what happened 2023? I think we're going to double that, and we are looking forward so that the culture that some of the Kenyans who have been brought up in America here, they've never known what Kenya is like, what their culture is like. Some of them cannot construct a sentence in the mother tongue, which is not a problem, but they need to know also their origin. Yes, because we don't want a situation where, I mean, because I know in America there's certain things they don't teach you. Yeah, and apparently so many things we get from where we came from Africa, and when people come here, then wanasema but ya kwao ni mtumwa. Ndio.
Wachamila ni mtumwa.
Wachamila ni mtumwa. Kiswahili majeli kuja na meli. Meli ilichelewa.
Sio mdomo chetu.
Meli ilichelewa hivi. Sasa unajua ndege ndio kuja speed ya kizungu tukaigrasp. So anyway, that's what we're gonna have, and we always have annual events, and the expectation of people coming looking for a big summer as an annual thing, and also one thing, unajua kutakuwa na World Cup hapa. So we already planned for World Cup July next year. Is gonna have all the cultural, and tutakuwa tuna World Cup kwa big screens already. We already got sponsors who are doing that. We already got big screens already. So we'll be having those particular screens in different parts, different cities in Washington.
Okay. So we mentioned about the event, where the event will be taking place. So
Yes.
Is it just like Smamish Park? It has an address.
You see, okay, Lake Samamish Park it's a park that is known. It's called as the Lake Samamish Park.
Oh, okay.
And why we chose Lake Samamish Park, because in Washington there are people coming from the north, there are people who come from the south.
So it's central.
Yeah.
So it's more central to the Kenyans around. It's a high end. It's a mosaic of this place. But it's better we go there because everybody was like, okay, we don't want to do one in the south, and what happens is do in the north. So it is like they are meeting at one point, at a pivot point. So that's why we decided to have Lake Samamish Park. It's a good park, by the way.
Yeah.
It's quite huge.
Yeah, I think we'll be there. All of us will be there to support you.
Correct.
Me, my co-host, and everyone.
We'll have all sorts of games.
And not forgetting our
Correct, my brother here.
big director.
Oh, director.
Yeah. So we'll be there to support. And we're gonna drop the address and the poster just right after this video. You can check it out, and all the information will be right next to that poster.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So going back to Kenyan soccer.
Yes.
Dennis Oliech.
Wow. Dennis Oliech is one of the strikers I think before he came in, there was a brother called Steve Okumu.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Okumu was also a very good striker. In fact, Steve Okumu was much better than Dennis Oliet. Unfortunately, he died. Dennis Oliet was also a very good striker, and he tried playing football overseas. He was in the Arab world,
Yeah.
and then after that, he went to France.
Mm-hmm.
It's only that he was a good player. It's only also like I tell you, at times the rankings of Kenya cannot make people to go to the next level. And that comes back to the office, the former office that have been there, the two regimes that have been there. That is former Nyamwea and Nick Mwendwa. And I'm telling you that the kind of striker we had, the name of Dennis Oliet, was a good player.
I think I'm gonna go contrary to what you just said,
Yes.
and I'll ask you about. I think Dennis Oliet went to the next level. I don't think we should sit here and say Kenyan ranking actually prohibited Dennis Oliet from going to the next level, according to what I know.
Yeah, 'cause
Dennis Oliet, he was one of the.
first
What do you think?
Kenyans,
Yeah. Alicheza. Yeah, alikuwa na feed.
Let me ask you a question.
So,
just go ahead.
hebu tuambie sisi wenye tuko hapa. I'm not a football expert. I'm not a soccer expert. But hebu tuambie sisi wenye tuko hapa na wale watch from behind the screens. Hebu tuambie
Okay.
what do you think? Of course hawezi kuonja everything, but what do you think was the downfall ama the. Tell us about what you know about that.
Okay.
Or what you think.
You see, in football, discipline is of paramount importance. Because who are you when no one is watching you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
not just football.
you can be so gifted, but character sustains you up there.
Yeah.
And that's where the downfall of so many players are. And you have seen, I don't want to mention names, you have seen so many players at international level where they are so good, but at tender age, you're like, what he's done, I mean, the kind of things he's done because of lack of good character ends up not going very far. Like, I'll give you an example like Balotelli. Balotelli, you think is a very old player, but he's not. But the thing is this, when I talk about highest level, if I ask you a question, Dennis played in France.
Yeah, you're right.
Can you give me 5 teams in French football? But
Yes.
I know you can give me 10 teams
Yeah.
in English football. Because we are looking at a situation there. France, yes, it is Europe. But anybody who is in France aspires going where? Maybe English football and Spanish football. And could be Italian. So it's very rare that you get a player playing in English football going to play in, unless you're playing for PSG or Monaco.
How about La Liga?
La Liga, yes, but you see, it is rare for somebody playing for France football going to English football. We are not saying there's no football in France, but as many people you ask the highest percentage, somebody will tell you I support Arsenal, another person will tell you I support Manchester.
In European, English football.
English football. At a very rare utapata fans wengi wanasupport Man City. Very rare.
So would you say like some of the challenges zenye wachezaji wetu wakienda kucheza maybe na Europe and these other countries, would you say what can also affect the ranking ama the rate at which wana nini to the higher level might be the challenges that any challenges that are faced can affect their game when wanacheza ama.
You know, professional means when you are in and outside the field. So you cannot be a professional only in the field.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because the outside world, I'll tell you for instance, there are particular managers, when they come to your team, they follow your character outside there. Who are you? I remember, I'll give you an example. When Wayne Rooney joined Manchester United, his character was one thing when he was coming from Everton. Sir Alex Ferguson had to make sure that, okay, he follows what he does outside more than what he's doing in the field.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, because definitely if you have sleepless nights, the game is tomorrow. You come in and you have sleepless.
There's no way you're gonna show up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And then there's also a player. When the player who joined, there's a player who joined the Manchester United. His name was Jemba. Jemba was coming to fit in. I mean, Manchester United. Manchester United had won so many trophies. But because of the lifestyle he had outside, the guy would travel all the way to Dubai and they have a match maybe 2 days.
Jeff, I wanna agree with you. From whatever you say.
Yes.
That's what is professionalism.
Uh,
From the little knowledge I know,
Mm.
that's what is professional sports.
mm,
I think what you've said is very right.
mm,
Whatever you do today
mm.
is progressively gonna show up tomorrow. Whether it's
Yes.
training,
Yes.
whether it's training
Oh, yes.
or whether it's a game.
Yes.
So kama ulishinda kama hauku it goes, si lazima umeenda kupiga drinks au umelala na madem,
Mm.
hata ile tu hauku get enough sleep.
Mm. Yeah.
Kutakuwa na cumulative fatigue of which itashow up kesho kama mnafanya fitness au mnafanya nini. I promise you, as a professional sports person, it's gonna show up kwa session ya kesho.
Correct.
So professionalism in terms of sport,
Mm.
it goes a long way.
It
Yeah.
comes with the discipline.
Yeah, ni all about discipline. From unakula nini, hauku hydrate. Unaweza bado likatoka hao.
Yes.
But ulishinda ukiwatch movie, ukasahau ku
Kunywa
hydrate.
maji.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Performance.
Yeah. Ama umekaa tu kwa hao.
Yeah. How
Hiyo
the
si
stretch.
ujastretch ama ujisikii tu kukula.
Yeah, how exactly. So nalo utapata wase so many professional players ukienda from football, rugby, weightlifting, utapata wase wako na nutritionists.
Yeah.
So mse ako kuna mse ana follow up diet yake. So unaelewa hiyo Jeff. Mse ana follow up diet yake. Juu hawezi kwa tu ulishinda hapo.
Yeah.
Unasema usikip kula, utakula tu matunda na watermelon peke yake.
Yeah.
You expect a show up kesho. Yeah. So I agree with that.
So just to add on it also, look at a player like Ronaldo. The guy rarely gets an injury. He's 40 years of age.
Yeah,
He's
and
very
he looks,
good.
and he doesn't look.
The guy has never taken a sword of more than 20 something years.
Oh, really?
Is poison.
Yeah. More than 20 something years. But look at the impact.
Mbona anacheza?
Yeah, it's a ball.
International team, Portugal.
It has,
Nana score.
it has taken 75 years for Portugal to win an international tournament.
Yeah.
But look at it. How many trophies? It's only World Cup and Angola. He'll play for the World Cup. He will be there for the World Cup next year.
No, he's gonna show up.
Yeah, he's won all the trophies. He's won all the trophies.
Hata kina Messi wakacheza.
Yeah.
How old is Messi?
Actually Messi alisema
Messi is about 39.
yeah, but
Yeah,
alisema
ana on hiyo club ya ile.
No, he's a shareholder.
He's a shareholder.
He's a shareholder. The Beckham MLS.
MLS, yeah. Sorry to cut you short, Mike. What did you say?
nilikuwa nasema alisema the last World Cup yake itakuwa hii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his strategic move yake to LA ilikuwa he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, he now lives in LA.
Yeah, he's been there for like I think 2 years now.
Oh.
Yes.
For a while, maybe
Maybe 3.
no, maybe around 2. Probably.
Yeah.
And so the next question nilikuwa niuliza ni about some of the challenges yenye kama someone who's following football closely, una feel that ina affect our players huko nje, because unajua playing home, even though you're a professional, playing home ama associating with people that seme si watu umezoea, yani challenges tu una feel kama players wetu wana face wakitoka kucheza Kenya, maybe if it is professionally ama due to change of life ama environment ama kupata do, because unajua ukitoka Kenya kama huko unashika do mingi ukienda huko life will change because kila kitu will change. Yeah. So what do you feel like ni challenges zime wachezaji wametoka Kenya wameenda kucheza Europe na other places wameface na some of the repercussions wamepata from whatever happened to them in those challenges?
That's a good question. So nzuri sana kabisa hiyo. Unajua culture shock ni kitu very watu ipuuza.
Yeah, that's
Lakini
It's a big thing.
it's a big thing.
yeah.
And I can count so many African players that have been very good players. But at the end of the day, culture shock enough. Because pesa inaingia kwa mfuko, then it gets into your mind. Yeah? So many players, West African players, so many players. In fact, the other one ilikuwa ni nani? Pogba.
Yeah.
Paul
Yeah,
Pogba.
Pogba.
Yeah, you see, some of the only players that
Unasema Pogba ilikuwa culture shock.
not culture shock per se, but you see, got it to his head, but it's, you can't tell him anything.
Probably that's just. I'm gonna.
Maybe one of, yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
support
tell you
Pogba.
this.
I think Pogba ni character yake tu. Ana kwa field ule jamaa alikuwa anakushow
That's
kama
okay.
kama defender anakushow bro. I am who I think I am.
Yeah.
Like wewe unanisha.
Anasema
Mimi ni mnoma. Na yeye ndiye alikuwa mnoma.
Okay.
Ni kama Balotelli pia.
Yeah, alikuwa na like
But let me ask you a question. There are players you can't compare Pogba with them.
Yeah.
That they achieve, lakini walikuwa too
Some.
somebody like Didier Drogba.
Yeah.
Didier Drogba, look at Eto'o. Eto'o won Champions League. Yeah, but Eto'o now he's a man. He's an official in his country. He's a president of
Federation.
Yeah.
So kama Ringo.
Yeah. So you see, we are looking at some of the players that have been there, vis-a-vis, you know, kama sema akikuja pale acha nikueleza as a professional player. I'll give you an example of Vivian Sancho. Why is he getting problems? Now, Chelsea cannot sign him. He's a good player. But the thing is this, you made a mistake, you're told to come and apologize. But you can't apologize.
Makes sense.
The ego.
The ego. Because money comes to your mind, and then what happens? Then people know that you're a good player, but look at what have you won? You know, you could be a very good player in the team you came from. But the issue here, what do people count? They count how many trophies have you got? Because if you want to say, Ronaldo is the GOAT, wanaangalia zile baba wamefunga vis-a-vis zile trophies ameshinda.
Yeah.
You know?
Plus then I feel like it affect your relationship between your coaches and your management your team.
Yes.
So unajua ukianza kukuwa na ego, hata coach
Hata players.
kulisha
Yeah.
bench.
Hata the younger players.
Yeah, wanna feel like So,
And then if you have to have even a difference is always because you're human beings. But then it doesn't need to escalate to a level that okay, Bitcoin akutumia, they have told something, I mean you don't need to come and apologize. Even if you're right, at times apology, even if you're right, just go and apologize. Because how many people are watching you? They are not watching the manager. And if they are watching the manager will come and go.
That's true.
Yeah. But the player will create an impact, take the team up there.
yeah, more side a question
Yeah.
before we went for the break.
What was my question?
What's your question, Mauricio?
I'll go for another one. Nikireserve tutaileta.
So
Nianze kuandika notes chini.
my other question is we're trickling down slowly to KPL winners. And I don't know if you've been following that. I want you to just name, do you have a random 11-man squad in your head currently?
Of course not.
And who are some of the young players you think have been outstanding? Not even young, but the ones who are currently playing.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
ones you
it's
feel
good.
like, I feel like the question is
Yeah.
the ones you feel like wako na potential.
Hey, they won't get
The
to
people that, yeah.
That's I come from a village where I believe they are quite very good players.
Yeah,
But if soccer is not competitive there, then how will I know them?
that's very true. If we can spot,
You know, I'll tell
the
you,
spotlight is not on
I
them.
can easily tell you a player maybe down in South Africa, or I tell you a squad in Morocco, yeah, as opposed to where if something is not competitive. You know, they say this, even if you have a light, ukiwa na light, unaweka juu ya meza for people to see.
Yeah.
That means ukiweka hiyo light in your meza ndani ya kaunti. So that means when a gift is seen up there, people notice. Yeah. So where's your taa weke chini?
So,
Yeah.
And to speak about, I think in March we had a game with, was it with Gambia? How did you feel about it when you tupiga mbili moja?
You know,
Tukubali tuuma.
Acha nikueleze.
the Gambia.
Na sidhani Gambia inafaa.
Ilikuwa match,
hata chat
ilikuwa 1-2, yeah. We lost 1-2.
You see, it's quite absurd when Kenya saa zingine unaenda kudraw na team zingine zile unakiangalia unasema hapana.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
As a national team, I don't expect Kenya to draw a team like Seychelles or wapi.
Gambia.
Ama
No,
Gambia.
you know Gabon. Sorry.
Gabon.
Yeah, Gabon. Okay, Gabon is a good team by the way.
Gabon, yeah.
Gabon is a good
I
team.
think kitu Gabon alishinda nao ni
Mm.
most of their players wanacheza pro. nje.
Ah.
So players wetu wangapi
Unaweza
wanacheza nje?
kutoka nje.
Yeah.
Players
So
wetu
the
wangapi
ball,
wangapi
they are
wanacheza?
good players. I mean, if I look at their performance, they reach very good.
Yeah.
So what I'm telling you is, we need to get to a level where we promote youth football. And when you promote youth football, so they get used to the international kind of build-ups and all that. So the wachezaji wakikuja pale, even if you're meeting a team, you're so sure, psyche yako inakuonyesha kwa hii team kwanza, we have to win. Because,
So,
yeah.
talk about supporting his youth soccer,
Young
kama
talent.
his young talent.
Mm.
There's a lady I know of, ako kwa hii group ya Waluya,
Yeah.
ana support team mtu mmoja. Kama mtu mmoja anaweza support team kadhaa huko mtaani Kenya, mbona si tusiweze kama kuna kitu kama hiyo?
I think I'm gonna take that question first. I think it's a really good idea, and me being a sportsman, seriously mind to support any young talent in whichever field, whether sports, whether weightlifting, whether rugby, whether soccer. But now the problem is, any channel gani tuna channel hizi funds, because there's a tamani sana kuna young kids wakipata sponsorships going to play abroad, no. But he support na kwa channel to to who?
Tunaweza team up na mtu already ana.
Because I think Jeff unaweza to explain here. I think you've been here. You've been in this. You've been in this position before.
Yeah,
I think they thought.
yeah, unaweza kushika tu hapo.
Okay.
So I think nitaendelea tu. Because Jeff, I think you've been in this.
Yeah.
I think you've been in this sports na kusupport talents huko mtaani. So I don't know what you think is the best way, because I don't think the best way to support those kids or those entities is through an individual account.
You know, let me tell you this. There's one aspect of supporting a team. But that team, if they're 11 or 25 players, they're not playing against themselves. They are playing against other teams.
Yeah.
If the federation is a problem, after when a team is really vipi, there's no performance. Because they cannot play a tournament outside Kenya before they play the tournament within Kenya.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it starts with the office. Yeah? Ukianza na ofisi, kila kitu vile bado, okay, we are trying this new office. So ukiangalia, if we have a good federation,
Yes.
where we don't have just, okay, this is the only team that is performing. Because you could be winning in your village, but then when you go to another city, then you're not,
You lose it.
yeah, you're a village. Unaona? So what we are saying is this thing lazima ikue, assuming mimi ni fan wa FC Leopards, sindio? If FC is performing na Gor Mahia inaumia, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Because you want to get to a point, sport is not about competition, unless it's table
There
tennis.
has to be competition.
Unless it's table tennis, after table tennis is over there. No. So what we are saying is, if the federation is right, it also helps one if you are sponsoring a team. Okay, now, let me put my money in this. Now you got it?
Yeah.
So in short, it's a long shot.
The thing is this, it goes back to the federation. The federation, we have to make sure we say that, okay, now, let them do the right thing. Because I can't, even if you invite PSG, I understand they have just won 4-0 against Atletico Madrid.
Oh.
Yeah, for this World Cup championship.
Didn't you get?
World Cup championship.
Oh.
Yeah. They are doing it for the first time. So World Cup championship, can you imagine, I take PSG, I take it to Kenya to play. Yeah. If I'm the only one wearing a suit in my village, I mean, what's the challenge?
So I think we're gonna take a short break and try to talk about the event coming up,
Yeah.
and slot in some of the adverts, then continue this.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Thank you for staying in tune, and give us a follow, subscribe to us, and yeah, we'll go together, and we really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks again. Jeff, tumekuwa tukiongelea so many players, tumeongelea kina Miheso, tumeongelea Dennis Olie, and nataka nirushe another bombshell. What do you think about Martin Imbalambala? I believe you player.
Martin Imbalambala is a player. He was a very fantastic stopper. He was. You know, I keep telling people, football is also lifestyle outside.
Yeah, and not just football, any other sport.
Any other sport is also lifestyle outside. You know, I cannot be aspiring to play professional football. Then my lifestyle is if somebody, the kind of friends I keep, they get into the house at 2 a.m. I also do the same.
That's fair.
What will be the essence of me training the whole day? I'm at the whole week. Then I go, maybe it's lack of sleep and drink, maybe take alcohol. Because those are kind of things that affect many players.
So are you trying to insinuate that hizo ndio vitu Imbalambala alikuwa anafanya?
To some extent, yes, because ilimwaffect sana. Kujichunga tu, unajua kusema, okay, when I came at the first stage, by the way, like I can assure you, I would take everything. In fact, I go to the stores and I find hizo vitu easy kuzitwaje hizi. I will buy those drumsticks. Like I don't eat that. Yeah, because I know myself, kuzoea kukula vitu in a very short time, I'll be heap of meat. So, like football, like I say, it's a lifestyle. There are certain things you choose. Unasema mimi, I want to play football to the highest level. So, weka kando vitu fulani. Saa mazoezi ikifika enda mazoezi. I'm not saying you don't need that, but look at it. I have
the balance.
Yeah, you have to balance. Look at even let's look at even the European football. European football, season inaisha hivi. Anybody who goes out, fitness is key. And you're within there for about 1.5 months. But fitness on a day-to-day basis is key. A coach will not tolerate you to come ukikuja umefanya vitu zako itaku affect injuries na nini.
Eric Marcelo,
Marcelo is a fantastic player, very disciplined, very good player. I mean, he's only about 8, but he's going out going playing for Europe. Playing for English football. You know, Eric Marcelo reminds me of who?
Yeah, he's a really good player.
He's a good player. Anajua kupanda, anajua kufanya vitu. You know, his confidence, the ball back anaingia kwa box. Yeah, he's a good player.
Nice.
Okay, and so with that, we are very thankful again for the second episode, and I think that will be the end of our second episode. Please, guys, don't forget to follow, like, comment, and tell us what you think about the episode.
Let's get the feedback.
All right, see you next time.
Yeah, Mauricio, anything?
Adios. We hope to see our host again.
We'll be here
next weekend.
Kama unajua mse,
Same place.
kama unamtambua, drop maswali kwa comment section. We appreciate all the criticism, whether negative or positive. We really appreciate you. So drop all the comments, like, follow, share the video, share the link, tell a friend to tell. Thank you so much. Boom! See you again next time.
Thank you. Next time.